the stream.
Yeah, it wouldn't copy it. Yeah, because it couldn't read it.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Looks like everybody made it back. Yeah, looks like I don't think anybody who's missing. We'll see. All right. Let's see. So, couple of points, and then I'll go what we are going to be doing today. Everybody should have been added to the Slack channel. Shouldn't have any issues with Slack now. All your not your pre-work. Whatever the setups that we did on Tuesday, everything should be complete. My expectation is by now everybody is set up for GitHub, GitLab. Everything should be good. If not, you guys, if it's not complete, then I'm sorry to say that you're already like a day behind because it's kind of fast class. It will be very hard for me during the class to stop and do something. Okay, but you have the hours, after hours, or class hours. You can still see me, the TS. I know they've been helping a lot of people. So make sure you are coming early. Come on for the class hours if you have any issues going forward also. I try to come here, but unfortunately, you know, it's still a long drive, and today it took me like 1.5 hours. I'm not joking. I left at like 4:30. I'm going to be here early, but the TAs are here. After the class, I'm here. So any help that you need, please come to me and let me know. So let's see what we are going to be. I saw some Slack messages on. Yesterday, Reggie was posting, a few other people, you know, keep that up, keep helping each other. That is going to help not only you, but other people also. Okay. Let's see. Let me get a few things out of the way. Everybody figured out where I'm uploading my videos? It's on the bootcamp session. Okay, good. Just making sure. Office hours already said. If you want tutors, everything is on bootcamp support. Go on to support. You can have all your questions answered if you have any admin questions. Okay. All right. Let's see. Homework assignment. There's a homework assignment that is due next Saturday, but I'm not going to cover that today. After the Saturday class, Matt, the other instructor, he's going to cover that homework because after the Saturday class, you should have everything, all the knowledge that will take to complete that homework. Okay, so today and Saturday class are very important. All right, I'll talk about the Saturday class towards the end also. Okay, let me just skip this so I can come back to it. All right, so what are we going to do today? Today we are going to start with basic HTML. I'm going to show you some HTML. Then we are going to look at the tool Git. Very, very important tool. It's the bread and butter of any software engineer, Git. Okay, we are going to look at what is Git. All right, and towards the end of the class, I'm going to go back to a little bit more HTML, and then we are going to look at CSS, what CSS is. Okay, again, I'm going to give you the basic concepts of both of these. There are exercises that you guys are going to do that I'm going to be live coding. That will give you a more in-depth. Okay, I'm going to show you where the documentation is. I'm going to show you how to read the documentation. I'm going to be searching the documentation for all the activities. You know, get in the habit of it. Go back after today. Go back, look at some of the other components. There are hundreds of HTML components, CSS components. All right, nobody can cover each one of them. All right, it's based on your use case, but I'm going to give you a basic idea. I'm going to give you a concept that will help you towards that. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Let me open my. Mouse is not working. Go back to my home. Okay, so the first thing I want is I'm going to create a HTML program that's going to be called um, Hello World HTML. Okay. By convention, Hello World, you will see this a lot. It's not an inside joke, but usually software engineers, whenever you learn something new, the first time you learn a language, the first program that you write, it's called Hello World. It's just a convention. It's kind of easy. You're learning something new. You want to test it out, see how it works. What we say is we write a Hello World program. So since HTML we are learning new, we are going to write, follow the same pattern and create a Hello World program. All right. Before I create a Hello World program, I want to create a directory which will have my HTML file, and then I want to go inside that directory and create this HTML file. Okay. All right. Let's see. Who do I pick? I'm just kidding. I've already decided who I'm going to pick. I just wanted to make sure everybody is there. All right, Connor. I want to create a folder, Hello World HTML. Okay. First of all, how do I tell which folder I am in? LS. Awesome. So LS tells me what are the files and folder inside where I am. That's a good starting point. But I want to see where I am. Like what's the location? I want to make sure that I'm at the right location where I want to create my folder. Excellent. Awesome. So PWD, I'm in day 2 folder and this is where I want to create. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Connor. Connor, pick somebody from the front row. Michael. All right, Michael. He'll get this one. All right, I want to create a directory.
MKDIR.
MKDIR. I'm going to name it Hello World HTML. Okay, excellent. All right, Michael, somebody else.
Is it Jeffrey?
Joffrey.
Joffrey?
All right, Mr. Joffrey, I want to go inside this folder now.
It would be CD Hello World.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so I created a folder and I'm inside that folder, and this is where I'm going to create my file, my first HTML file. All right, Joffrey, pick somebody from me, please. Reggie. So I want to create a file.
Yes, so it's going to be touch
Awesome.
space then bound in Hello World HTML.
Let's call it hello world.html. Excellent. Let's confirm it. All right, the file is there. Awesome. You guys actually went back and looked at it. All right, so now my HTML file, I'm going to open this in Visual Studio and we are going to get into HTML. All right, any questions before we proceed? Everybody good? All right, so now let me open this and then I can talk. World and this. Okay, a couple of things before we start. A lot of you are new to HTML, and similar proportion is not so new to HTML. So for the people who already know this, it will look basic, but please be patient. And in the exercises, try to see if you can help somebody out. It might be a little bit easier for you guys, but there are quite a few people who have never done this. So I'm going to treat everybody like they have never seen HTML. Okay, so HTML is one of the first 3 languages that your browser understands. Please understand this, that your browser only understands 3 languages: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. There is no other language today that your browser understands. You heard of React, you have heard of Angular, you have heard of jQuery, but your browser does not understand any of one of those. We trick and we kind of hack the stuff up to make it understand, but basically these are the only three languages that your browser understands. All right, everything else is built on top of it. All right, at the foundation you will only have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you know these three languages, you are set. I mean, you don't need to learn anything else. You can create the same website that you're going to create using React, Angular, jQuery, or anything. It will be difficult. You'll have to write a lot more code, but you can do it. All right, so browser only understands this. First one is HTML. HTML can exist without JavaScript and CSS. You can write a web page just using HTML. It won't look pretty, it won't do anything, it will be a static page, but you can do it. CSS cannot exist alone, and JavaScript also doesn't do anything alone. Okay? But HTML can exist on its own. Alright? So when we create a program with just HTML, we say it's a static page because it doesn't do anything, so it's static. Alright? So I'm going to start typing the HTML, and I'm going to explain what it means. So the first thing is, you will see in your HTML documents is doc type HTML. Okay, the first tag, these angular brackets, we call them tags. So the first tag you will see is doc type HTML. This says the document, the program, the website that you're creating is based on HTML version 5. Okay, there have been previous versions 4, 3. There's a different tag for those, but at this today you will probably rarely see anything else other than HTML5. Google, if you have noticed, I don't know if you have heard, they are slowly actually saying that if your website is on like HTML3 or something, they're going to strike their website from their search result. They're going to bring the website down and put it on Google page 2, right? You heard that, right? If you want to bury a body, put it on Google page 2. Nobody goes there, right? So you don't want that. All right, so doc type HTML5, this tells that this page is built on HTML5. All right. The second mandatory tag is HTML, and this is how it begins. So you have a HTML. Now everything within this HTML tags, you're going to write it. Okay, these are all mandatory ones. Your document will not be able to render. Your browser will not be able to render without these. By render, I mean visualize, make it appear. Okay. Now within this HTML, you will see a tag called head. Okay. Head tag hosts your title of your website. You see, if you run on your Chrome, on the bar you will see a name of the website. That's called the title. That also goes in your head. If you are linking some other libraries, your JavaScript libraries, your CSS libraries, everything goes in the head. Anything that is in the head tag is not rendered. You cannot see that on your page. Yes?
How did you get that HTML element represents?
What was that?
How did you get that HTML represents underneath
HTML represents.
it?
Oh, you just hover over it. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. So, Christine, for now, just close the laptop and we'll come to it. We will have a chance to do the same thing. All right. So now head tag hosts your links, your third-party links, outside links, and everything. So anything that is within the head is not visual. All right. You won't see it on your page. If you want to see anything on your page, the tag is called body. Anything that goes within this tag is visually available. All right, your browser is going to render anything that you put over here. Okay, so this is the basic template of an HTML file. All right, any questions on this? Okay. Now here's the cool thing. This is probably the only time you will see me writing this whole thing out. There's actually a shortcut to all this. If you do Shift exclamation point on Visual Studio and then press enter, it's going to create the basic template for you. right? The only purpose for me to write that out was so that you guys see the important tags, but you probably guys will never actually type the whole thing out, all right? Shift, exclamation, enter, and it will create the exact same template that I just explained. It has few more things, but don't worry about that. Those are these width and all those things. We are going to look at it later on. These are for your mobile devices. Your website should be good to be used on mobile phones, but for now we won't worry about it. You can even delete those things. But
Does that make it responsive?
make it responsive. Yeah, we'll see that later. Yeah. This alone will not make it responsive, but it is kind of giving an indication we still have to do a lot more stuff to make it do. Right? For now, I'm going to just go ahead and delete it and keep this template.
Is it like AdWords just like 100% or just match whichever screen it's on?
What was that?
Where it like, because they have width and then height. So we put like 100% and then it'll like,
Oops. This one.
I think it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you put 100%, I think that'll mean that like whatever screen it's
It already does it.
Right,
I
right.
think that on,
Right, it's going to expand the whole thing. Yeah. But to make it responsive mobile phones, you still have to do just this won't work. Yeah, you'll have to do something else. And we'll see that later on. All right. So for now, all right, so it creates a basic template. Now let's look at some of the elements. So what I say is, W3 Schools. This is the best website out there for your HTML documentation. All right, it's like the Bible of HTML and CSS. Okay, I refer that anything that I want. I mean, I don't think there is anything I have not found over here. All right, so this is when you come to documentation. This is your documentation. When you're looking up for something that you want to render on an HTML page, go to this website and figure it out. Okay. Now let's suppose start with something basic. See headings. Okay. So now you see these things: heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 kind of headings available in HTML. They start with H1 and goes up to H6. All right. And this is how you do the syntax. So let me go ahead and create a H1. Okay, so dissecting this, I said these are called tags, and within the tags, these are called HTML elements. All right, now we are getting to the technical terms. So after this, I'm going to keep using those terms. So we have HTML elements. All right, these are predefined HTML elements that mean something to HTML. You cannot use them in your program. Those are already defined. So for example, H1, HTML, your browser understands what HTML means. Oops. Let me make this. Okay. So your browser understands what HTML means. Oh, so, H1 means. It means a heading, one of the headings. Okay, and it's going to render that page. There are some custom elements and we'll look at it, but these are all called HTML elements. We have a few more. Well, let's first go ahead and run this. In your Visual Studio, there's an option which I have turned on over here. It says, where is it? Auto save. What this feature does is as I write, every not few seconds, even like nanoseconds or microseconds, it will save that file automatically. If you don't have this turned on, you will see a dot over here. Okay. I would suggest turning it on. The thing is, if you change something on your file, you don't save it, your browser would render that new things. All right. So with auto save, I don't have to worry about any change that I make. Is it rendering? Is it not rendering? Let's suppose I move this. It'll be auto saved. All right. I don't have to press Control S or Command S to save it. It's just a good feature. All right. The next thing, if you have downloaded Live Server, we are going to open this in Live Server. The other option is open this in your browser. Where's my browser? Oops. Why am I running on this port?
The Mac issue.
It's a Mac issue. Oh.
The Visual Studio Code is written by
Studio Microsoft
Microsoft.
product.
But Microsoft. So they messed up something.
It all makes sense.
There's no bar.
All right. No worries. We will open this. Hmm. Okay, I'll go and try to see why my life. I'll probably have to kill some port. All right. So this is how it will be rendered. So let's suppose I change my heading to H2. Okay, refresh. Kind of changed. Yeah. So H1 to H6 are all the different kind of font or the size you can say. Those are all from H1 to H6. All right. So this is the basic syntax. Now let's suppose I want to add a. Let's add a link first. Links. Okay. So it tells you, okay, this is the syntax. The tag for link is A, and it kind of sounds weird, but A actually means anchor. So that's where the link is coming from. So it's saying that, you know, this is how you do. You say A, href, URL, and link text. Let's see what this all means. Go back to my code. Start with A. Okay. That was saying, what is it? href. And then some URL. Open. Let's say google.com. Let's see what happens. Okay. And then go back to documentation. And then they have something over here. So between the tags, this will open. Okay. Now you guys saw this. This is the HTML element following the same pattern. A is another HTML element, all right, which is used for linking. Href. All right. Anything between this and this, these are called attributes. Attributes. All right. There are different type of attributes for each one. H2 or the heading tag doesn't have any attributes. That's why you don't see it over here. A has quite a few. Some of the more popular one is the href, which says that if you click this link, it should open this whatever you have URL over there. All right. So if you go ahead and refresh this page, this link will show up. If you click it, it takes you to google.com. Well, it should, because I'm not running the live server. Let me go back and change it to, oh, come on, HTTPS. Okay, so it will take me wherever that link is. All right, let's look at something. Okay, all right. Let's look at one more tag, and then I'm going to let you guys try something else. Let's look at the image tag. These are the more popular ones, and you'll be using these in the activities and kind of homework, so I'm kind of going over them. There are a few more that I'm going to intentionally leave out, and then during the activity, give it a try, and then I'm going to do the solution from the documentation also. All right. So images, Now, if following the same pattern, the HTML element for an image is img. Okay, so we can start with that. So I closed. Do you guys see a difference? So when I did the h2, as soon as I closed this tag, I got a /h2. So these are the ending tags: beginning tag, ending tag. A beginning tag, ending tag. But image didn't give me an ending tag. Okay. Some of the HTML elements are called self-closing, so they don't have an ending tag, and that's how some of those are built. Okay. If you don't have an ending tag, they are bound to have some attributes, because if they don't have anything, I mean, right now it won't do anything, right? I want it to have an image, but just this doesn't do anything. All right. So this means it should have some more properties or attributes. Okay. Let's look at some of those. They have the examples over there, but let's skip the examples and come down. Let me click this tag. Okay, so you see these attributes. So there are a lot of attributes that belong to the image or img tag. All right, and these will give you a description. The ones that we are interested in is src, which means a source. So say specifies the URL of an image. All right, so I'm interested in the source attribute first. Attributes will always go inside the tag part. They don't exist outside the tag. So source, and then you can give an image over here. See if I can find a small image. Okay, that should work. That's too big. That's okay. So source, you put in any URL. All right, put in a tiny URL. Didn't have time right now. Okay. The second more important one is alt. ALT. It says the text. All right, specifies an alternate text for an image. Excellent.
Also, if somebody's using a string or the events, like that line, or visual credit, he will read that text right to it.
You see what happened? This is, so if for some reason your image is not able to load, it's going to put that alt string over here. Okay, and these two are both mandatory, and it is required, because a lot of time, let's suppose you are on a slow connection, and for some reason you are in a remote area and your website is not able to render this image. So at least they will know what was over here. So you will see a lot of these in IE, unfortunately, but this is what the alt does. All right, so these two, source and alt, always make sure both of these attributes are filled out. Okay. Let's see. All right. So any questions on this? Okay, everybody kind of get the concept of HTML. All right. So let's go ahead and do an exercise. So Nick and Troy are going to select you. Can you guys select out exercise number 3? It's from the previous class. Go through. O303 from the previous class. All right, let's look at what it is saying. So create a new HTML file. create a doc type declaration, head tag, h1, embed in image, and then look at this part. So the first one you're going to use h1, then you're going to use a ing tag, right? And then you have to create 3 links. So you're going to use the a tag, all right? Let's look at the documentation of the a tag again. Where's my a tag? There it is. So a tag was used for linking. You click it and it goes to a link. Let's see what these mean. So go into the attributes, and then as the instructions say, you are supposed to use target, right? Oops. That's not what I want. They're going to Slack your. They should be, yeah.
It's in Slack channel.
The Slack
And,
channel.
Tuesday.
No. Oh, about Slack, I would highly recommend if you guys download and put the app on your phone also. Kind of keep sending messages. You will get it in time. I know. Jeff, did you got your phone today? Yeah. Kind of helps. It should be an exercise saying 03. Let me check again. Yeah, he sent the list of instructions. They're exactly the same that I have over here. Tuesday, Thursday, yes. From Nick. Yeah, it's on GitLab. If you can access it, yes. See the. It's the same as I have over here. Now what I was saying in the A, there's a target which is an attribute. So look at the documentation and look at this target over here. This is what it is saying. It has some options, underscore blank and underscore self. Those are the more widely used, so take a look at those. You can even click this, it will give you a description, what each one does, right? Underscore blank opens the link document in a new window or tab. Okay, underscore self opens it in the same frame, right? Opens the link in the parent frame. We don't have the framing part and everything, so don't worry about the last 3. But the first 2, they're kind of still used. And you would have noticed, you go to a website, you click, it just opens on a same window. Some website open in a different window. Behind the scenes, these are the options that are being used. Okay, again, the website is W3 Schools. All right, I'm going to go back to the instructions so that you guys can take a look at this. And then if you get done early, there's a bonus at the end, and Nick has already slacked out. Look at the bonus part, but first try to complete the first section. Okay, let's see how much time do I have for this.
What's that fast thing to make it pop up again?
Shift exclamation mark. Shift and then I have a timer running somewhere. So take around 15 minutes. Around 9 or 10 minutes, I'm going to start coding this exercise so that you guys can see what's going on. But go ahead and start working on this one. I'll try to kill my port over here. Wow. Make the second link bold. All right. Any questions on any part of the exercise without the bonus? Yes.
For target point, the tab,
Mm-hmm.
like you type out blank and the thing's supposed to go there, or
Is there one?
I think that's supposed to go there, that blank spot, or is it just
No, you just type out blank. That's it. Yeah. Again, if you look at let's look at the documentation, and it just said print out the blank, and that should do it. Right. Any other questions? Yes.
I think we should follow the examples that I tried.
Okay.
And if I use a URL to an image, I can do it to work. And if I put it in the file in source,
Okay.
I can
So did you download the image file, put it in your folder?
What's that?
You
I mean,
downloaded
this one
the
I
file?
did, but
Okay.
and when I tried to just try to plug the
Yeah.
URL into the code.
Right. So let's see if I can download this file here. So for example, this file, you are saying you go ahead and
So what I have been doing is going to the internet and
yeah.
pulling the link out.
Okay.
But typically the ones I get don't have JPEG.
Right. Oh, if you don't have a JPEG, then it won't work. Yeah. So you need to have a JPEG. Yeah. So like this one, I downloaded, and in my folder over here, it shows up like this. Right. So this image is now actually on my drive. So what I would have to do is I would have to change this a little bit now. So I would have to oh, there it is. So you see this relative path thing, it's still kind of little bit next level, but if you have downloaded image, you need to tell the source that on your folder where that image is. Alright, usually what happens is start with a dot and then Visual Studio will help you try to figure out what you're trying to do. So you see if I did a // it gives me all these folders. So these are my folders. So it's kind of helping you trying to find something. Alright, so this is how you would do it. But since my image, it should have is just over here. If I do like one dot and slash, it says, oh, here's your image, and then that's how it is. If you download it. So one is from the website and one is from my hard drive over here. Huh? Steve Rogers. What was it?
You keep Steve Rogers on your hard drive?
Yeah. You will see some of the examples. Yeah, go ahead.
So for the making the link bold, is that the usual way to do it, or because I know I did it a different way?
Yeah. Do you use a strong?
I use style.
What did you use?
I went into the href, and then after, instead of using target,
Oh,
I
you use
style.
the CSS.
Yeah, yes.
Right. So this is the way you would do it without CSS. So for now, let's suppose we don't know CSS. I don't even know what CSS exists, but I still want to make it bold. So HTML say, hey, there's a way. There's a second way to do it. You can use a strong. They have a strong tag. And this will also do the same thing, strong. But yeah, you can do it with CSS, but at this point, since we haven't seen CSS, so I didn't bring it up.
I mean, I looked it up on the
Yeah, they probably have the examples already. But this is how you would do it. Okay, one more thing is you will see a lot of div tags. Let me quickly talk about the div tag. Div means division. So these tags are used to divide your page into parts. Okay. Right now we have a small page, but what would happen is you'll have this website will grow, and then what we do is we separate this using div tags. One more thing, format document. Always right click format document, it will automatically kind of make it pretty. So that kind of helps you see what's going on. You see what happened when I used the div tag? I put it, so it divided this image in one section and this image in one section. Alright? Div tag is one, you will see a lot of code spilled with div tags. And the reason is that you want to separate it out into different sections and you use a div tag for that. Okay, now div tags were more popular in the previous versions of HTML. In HTML5, they came out with what they call is more a lexical way. Like div tags, if you want to create a, let's say your heading, like this is your web page, and you want something on your top. This is a header basically, right? And this is a footer. Now, if you want to divide these things, you will still use a div tag and say you will write your code for the header, and then you will end the div tag. Now if you want to write your footer, you will again start using the div tag, and then you will write your code for the footer. Okay, that's how it is done. But in HTML5, they introduced some more logical naming ones, tags. For example, if you want to create a header, there's a tag called header. Okay, you can use the header tag. And let's suppose you have some things over here in the middle, right? So there's a tag called section. You can use a tag section. And then there's a tag called footer. You can use that to put in all the code that goes in your footer. Okay? Behind the scenes, when it comes to code, div and header, section, footer are exactly the same thing. There's absolutely no difference. All right? But the difference comes in, we as humans, when somebody else reads your code and sees a header tag, they'll be like, okay, the code within these things goes on my header. Right? Kind of makes sense. The code in the footer tag is for the footer of my page. Right? So people, you are working on a team and some new member sees it, they'll be like, okay, this is the code that I'm looking for. If they want to change the copyright 2019 or something, they don't have to scroll through the whole 100 lines to figure it out. They'll see the footer tag and they'll be like, okay, this is where probably it is, and they can go and update that. So it's more for human readability and also for some of the Google search engine optimization also. So Google, behind the scenes, in a simplest case, looks for tags on your website and kind of figures out what it is doing. So instead of Google going through your whole web page to figure out what your website is, it looks at now the header tags or like a section tag. They have like an article tag. It will look for those keywords and kind of make it faster for them also. Okay, so these were introduced in HTML5. They are not available before, but since we are on HTML5, these all are available. Okay? Yes, the thing we are learning is HTML5.
But that's all we're gonna.
That's all, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We are going to be doing HTML5 because that's kind of became almost, I would say, I don't know, 70-18% of your websites are kind of already shifted to HTML5. So slowly it's becoming the standard. I think in a few, I don't know, months or years, that would be the only version available right now. Okay? So instead of, yes.
So can you have more than one header on one
Yeah,
section
yeah.
of the page? Like, as when
Yeah.
you read it, so when you choose the code,
Right.
like, then you like header one and then do it that way, or
No, so you can, from the technical perspective, you can have 2, 3, 4 header tags. Your HTML will render. But the SEO that you're talking about, yeah, that's the issue that you shouldn't be doing it. You can do it, but you shouldn't be doing it. You should only have like a one header tag because, again, these are, I said, more lexical. These are more conceptual. You cannot, conceptually, I cannot have more than 2 headers on my page, right? So if you can do it technically, your code won't complain because behind the scene, this is still a div tag. It doesn't care what it is. It will still render it. But when somebody else is reading, it will be more confusion saying, why do I have 2 footer tags or why do I have 2 header tags? Okay. If you want something more division, so I would say create a header tag once, and then within the header tags, you can have either divs or more like a section tag. These can reside inside it, so you can like make sections of your header. That would be a more better approach.
like you guys say, let's say for example, when you want to
Right.
it says like how you say you have a usual clause that has a different type of like headers.
Right.
That's what I was
Oh, so the headers that you are talking are kind of a little bit different headers. These are part of the body tags. This all thing is in your body tags. These are the things that render on your page. The headers that you're talking are kind of like the page headers. Those are kind of separate things. Those are not the ones that are rendered over here. Yeah, those are 2 different things. These are basically, think of them as div tags, and they divide your web page. That's all they do.
Which ones do you want us to use?
I would highly recommend looking into these things instead of div tags. So here's the flowchart. Logically, if you can make sense, like, okay, this is my header, then use these tags. If at some point you come to a section, you are like, well, I don't know if it's a section or a header, or an article or a footer, then go ahead and use the div tag. Put it inside a div tag. Okay? But get in the habit again. You can use div tags for all of these. Nothing is going to happen. Your code will run. It will still render. Same thing. It's just easier to understand. Okay? When you make, we'll look at some more examples later on. Portfolio and all those stuff. So if there's a heading, try to put it in the header tag. If there's a footer, put it in a footer tag. Okay? All right. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
When I did the shift exclamation point,
Uh-huh.
it didn't bring the down bar.
Mine didn't either.
Is that because it's Microsoft?
I had to save my HTML before I did it, because it wouldn't come up until I saved
It needs
it.
to be an HTML document
So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna save the HTML, so you can do that.
in order to get
Right. So these files need to have an extension of .html. Yeah, then it's going to render properly. You see these color scheme and everything. These are only coming because I saved it as .html, and Visual Studio Code is kind of smart enough to recognize it. If I save it as a JavaScript, you will see different syntax and different colors. We'll see that. Or a CSS. We'll look at that also. Okay. Any other questions? All right.
Or you set the autosave.
Next, we are going to look at all right. Next, we are going to look at Git. All right. Everybody okay? Done? All right. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to explain first, and then we can look at the slides later on. Okay, so Git, as I said, is the bread and butter of every software engineer. I don't think these days there are other tools, but Git is by far the most popular right now. Okay, so what is Git? Git, by definition, is a version control tool, right? What does it mean? Let's take a look at it. Let's look at an example. Let's suppose you have a Word document that is saved on the cloud or somewhere at a central location. Okay, you have a Word document and you have like few lines over there. Now you and your friend are working on that document. Let's suppose you make a copy of this, your friend makes a copy of this. Okay, now you go ahead and you update this document with some new things and then put it back. All right, so now your document, this is the new document. After some time, your friend updates the same document with some new things and goes ahead and then uploads it back. What is going to happen? Yep, all your changes are gone and they are going to be replaced with this document. Huh? That makes sense. You overwrote everything, right? What Git does is Git exactly tries to not let you do this, right? So let's look at a more coding example now. All right. Let's suppose I have a super complicated website. All right. I want my website to have a heading saying Best Avenger. Okay. And below this, I want Steve Rogers' picture to show up. All right. This is my super complicated website. I'm going to hire 2 developers for it. All right, because I think it takes 2 people to complete this website. All right. So let's suppose I hire Laura. All right, Laura, pick your partner. All right, Christine and Laura are going to work in my super complicated website. All right, so my website starts and I have a body tag over here. Okay, this is the given, and now I'm saying, hey guys, this is your work. How about you divide this and then work on both? All right, so how do you divide? You say, okay, Laura says I'm going to take the heading, and Christine says I'm going to take the image. All right. So Laura, for your part, what goes in the body part? You are doing the heading. What code do I write that the heading shows up here?
And the header.
Okay.
With header.
What was that again?
Header with the tag around it.
Okay. The header tag.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Well, I want the heading
The best Avenger would be
over here in between.
yes.
Okay, and then I close this tag. Okay, so this is close. Remember header I said are more like a division tags. I'm looking for the heading tag. Heading was
Heading
H1.
one. H1.
Okay. So okay. All right. Now Christine, you have the same structure. You download this part of the code, and I want the image to show up. What code do I write for the image one?
Did the href equals
Href. So A is again for link, like it shows up the link. I want the image, the picture.
img.
IMG, excellent. All right.
img space source src equals sorry
Image source, and then I find an image, Captain America. All right, and then my tag. Excellent. Now Laura goes ahead. She completes it. She pushes or she uploads the code. Her code comes over here with the H1 tag. All right. Now Christine also goes ahead and puts her code back. What's going to happen? They both are on exact same line. All right. Both are good coders. They're using good practices. They have formatted their code. Both codes are on the same line. What's going to happen is this is going to go away and image is going to show up. All right. These guys come in, demo it to me. I only say the image. I see Steve Rogers' image. I'm like, where's the best Avengers? That's the most important part. You missed out. Okay. So these guys were not using Git. Now Git enters. What Git does is, it's the same strategy. You're going to write the code. They're going to bring it down. Okay. And then Laura is going to upload her code, which has a H1. Everything is good at this point. When Christine tries to upload this code, if you're using Git, it's going to complain. It's not going to let you do that. It's going to say there is a conflict. All right? It's going to say there's a conflict because the line, it has its own special algorithms, kind of determines that, on the same line, you're trying to upload the same code. She will have a body tag, right? Body tag. Laura also has a body tag here. Okay, exact same thing. But between these two, this is different. So that's why Git is going to say, no, there's a difference. The code that I have over here on the server is, if I take in your changes, is going to conflict with that. So it is not going to let Christine upload that code. What is the right way to do it now? Christine has to download this code, embed this code in her code now, say H1, and then she's going to send it back. This time Git is going to say, okay, yeah, the changes that I had are also in your code, and then you added some more. There's no conflict and everything is good. Yes?
So does it lock the file?
There's no locking of the file.
So both people in at the same time, it doesn't lock
Yes.
the file?
No. There's no locking. That's the older part. There's no more locking anymore. I know what you're saying. There's no locking. Both are getting a copy that is over here first. All right. From the beginning, they're going to get a copy which has just the body tags. They both can work on the same file. There's no more locking or anything. The thing is, when you try to update the central copy, we call it a pure copy, which is without any errors, which is works. That's where Git is going to check what you are trying to do. Right? It takes away from the locking concept because I remember 10 years ago the file would be locked and somebody went on the weekend, you can't even work because the file is locked. I've had that issue. Yeah. File is locked, nobody can work. Yes.
So would it be
Matt.
accurate to say it'll let you add, but it won't let you overwrite or remove stuff without?
You can override, you can remove. What is happening is Git is going to tell you. It's a tool that tells you that something is in conflict, and it will, but the decision eventually lies on your own. It will say, this is a conflict, go ahead and resolve it. You resolve it, you override it, you delete it, Git doesn't care. The only thing it cares is there should be no conflict when you give it to Git. Now you download the code, Christine goes ahead and deletes Laura's code over here. Git is not going to stop you with that. The only thing Git is saying is, as long as there's no conflict over here, I'm good. Right? Yes.
So it's just like a user-friendly version of Visual Studio Code now, so more people could collaboratively work
Yes.
rather than saving and sending it to them
Right.
and then they upload it.
Right. Right. It's not very compared to Visual Studio.
Not user-friendly.
User friendly. You can be judge of that. It's not. Yeah. The commands that we saw. Though, if you think those are user friendly, then yeah, we're going to use those commands. But yes, George.
So the way I think about it is they're kind of like a joint account where both people are able to make transaction of it, but they're both owners of it as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They both are owners of the same copy, and whoever pushes or updates this copy, there just shouldn't be any conflict. That's all. Yeah, both are owners of it. They can make changes at the same time. There's no more locking or anything. And then they can push or they can upload the same code as combined. It's the collaboration that Joffrey was talking about. That's what it is. You have a team of 6 people, right? In my highly complicated website, I had like 2 people working on it, right? Both can work on the same time. This took so much time to create the H tag, and then Christine created this. In the end, they can both merge and have the website ready at the same. Yes.
So does somebody have to make a change first before you ever can edit?
Good question. As a software engineer, when you're working on a big team, you will see people are trying to push first. Why? Because I don't want to deal with conflicts. If I go in first, I'm there. I don't have to worry about conflict. It happens in my team also. There's a race going on. I'm like, whose merge goes in first? Because you see, Laura's merge went first. There's no conflict. She wins, and I don't have to worry about it. But Christine now has to pull her code, embed in it, resolve all the conflicts, and then upload it. That's how the life is. So you have to deal with it. Yeah, there's a race going on. Who goes in first? Yes.
So is it timestamped on when you got it?
Good question. I'll get to that. Good question. Timestamp. Yes.
Is this, it seems like it's really useful if you have like collaborative projects.
Exactly.
If you have milestones you're trying to hit, everybody's kind of working together to do things. Especially when these things are more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why. And then the other part is all your code is being saved to a central repository. All right. It is not on your hard drive anymore. If your computer crashes, everything goes away. You still can get the same code back and start working on it. All right. Good question. From the concept wise, everybody gets the concept. Then I'm going to go into the technical details. All right. Now all these pulling and uploading, these have terms. All right. And those are the terms from now on. That's what we are going to use. When you download the code, we say pull. You are doing a pull. Pull means that you are trying to get the code that is on the central repository or on the server. When you are trying to upload, we will say push. You are trying to push the code to the central repository. All right. If there's a conflict, it's called conflict. Yeah. I think I gave that away early.
What is the Git called? Is it like a central location? What is that?
Git is this concept that I just explained. Git is a tool. Yeah.
Is that just called Git?
This thing is a repository, you can call. Yeah. Okay. So we have pull, we have push, and then we have merge. Merge is a concept that when you're trying to merge both files and try to make it updated.
Do you have certificate for David from last cohort? Because his brother's here to pick it up. Do you know?
David?
Yeah, David.
Oh, Jason has them.
Jason has it?
Yeah, he
He's
took
not
it.
here tonight, right?
Yeah. I was going to keep it if he took it.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Jason just told him to come tonight.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, so we have merge, pull, push, conflict, merge. All right. Clone. Clone means that you are copying or cloning this file. All right. So this file, I'll show you. This resides as a project on a central location, and to bring it down the first time, you're going to clone or you're going to copy this onto your hard drive. So the process is called cloning. Okay, you're going to clone this on your hard drive, and then you're going to make changes to it. Then you're going to push it. If there's a merge conflict, then you're going to pull the code, merge it, and then finally push it. Okay. And they have like very intuitive commands. It's really easy to look through it. So you guys will have fun. Lots of fun.
Is merge like adding?
Huh?
Is merge like adding?
Merge is, as I said over here, right? So you have a H1, this part of the code and this part of code. The final copy is merged. They both should be there. So that's the merging part.
Is this what anything uses? Because like I do this.
Who uses?
Dynamics, just sending data, and pull, push, merge, conflict. Is this used, I guess, for anything, APIs or any sending data?
Yeah. Well, it's used for anything code related. These are all files. These are just files. These all things, these will be our HTML file, a JavaScript file. In the end, it's just the files with lines in it, and it's like checking if there's a conflict when you're trying to merge the code. That's all it is. Yes?
The cloning, can you hand it out too far, or is there a limit on the Git that it could only be cloned so many times?
No, you can. If I have a central repository, everybody in the class can clone the same thing. Yeah. When you submit your projects and everything, your TAs are basically cloning your repository to their hard drive. They're not going to make any change, but they're going to run it to make sure it actually runs. That's how they do it. Yes?
What's the difference between pull and clone? Because you said pull was to get the code from the central location, right?
Right. Clone is the first time command. All right. When you don't have anything, you don't have this on your hard drive, you cannot do a pull and push. You have to clone it first. It's only one time command. Pull, after you have cloned, then you're going to keep pulling. Let's suppose you have 6 people working on the team, and your task is, three members of your team have already completed their task and they have pushed their code, right? Somebody goes the first day, pushes the code. You're going to pull it. Second day, somebody goes and pushes the code, you're going to pull it. So you're going to do multiple times. Clone, you're going to only do it once. If you go ahead and delete the project, then you have to re-clone it. But clone is a one-time command which says that, hey, there's a code on the server which I don't have at all on my hard drive. I want to, download it. So you will go ahead and clone that first. After that is pull and push. Yes.
So after you clone it, then basically you copy it to your hard drive, and then
After you clone it,
it constantly pulls, updating.
you have to keep pulling.
So you have to do.
You have to do. Yeah, all of these are manual. There's no automatic thing. You have to keep pulling and merging on your local drive and then keep pushing it. Okay? and it gets super. You can see how ugly it gets when there's a team of 6, 10 people constantly going on. But Git is really cool. It kind of manages all this stuff. It will always keep the central location pure. That's what we call it. It will always be the running code, like a production ready code. It's always safe because the code over there has no conflicts. It guarantees that. Yes.
So, the Git is just for the people who decided that they will work together, or is it like public? So that means, let's say you start a project, you have 3 people, your Git is empty?
First time it is empty, and you will create a project.
So it is just for the limited number of people?
No, it's any number of people. It's an open source tool that anybody can use.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you what. There are some websites that use it, but Git on itself is a tool that it's an open source tool. Anybody can use it, and it will help with all these conflicts.
So you can use even the open source project, and is it like that? Like you can pull things from?
Yeah. I'll show you how it is.
Okay.
The only thing is, to use Git, you have to basically assign your project to Git. You have to say, hey, Git, take control of my project.
Oh, okay.
That's the first thing. I'll show you how to do that, but yes, the first time, like we created an HTML file right now, right?
Yeah.
It's not controlled by Git because I haven't told Git to actually take control. We
Oh.
have to see, and we'll see how we do it.
Okay.
Okay? So you have to tell. Yes, Randy.
So Git will limit or exclude others from getting, say like you have 6 people and a 7th person wants to get in.
Okay.
They kind of see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So Git will exclude someone unless you make them a member.
Yeah, those now we are getting into permissions. Yeah, Git has, there are different websites that you can assign. You can make it a private kind of deal, and nobody can see your project. You can do all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Those are getting into permission, and we'll see what all you can do. But the concept wise, from the Git wise, this is what Git does. Okay. Now every time you write your code, use Git because we want to make sure it's being controlled. Here's the other part. Timestamp. Matt was talking about timestamp. I'll show you on the websites. Git will keep the timestamp when somebody uploaded the code, did a merge. Keeps the timestamp. Keeps your name. Who did it when? All right. It kind of keeps the history. Like how many days. I don't know how far the history goes. I have never seen it's like kind of. Disappearing or something, but I have never gone that too far, like a year, 2 year. I've seen 2 years also people have done it, but it will keep the history of every push to this copy that has been done with the names, with the timestamp. All right, so it maintains the history. Huh?
Does it show the changes? Or?
It shows the changes. Excellent question. It will show each line that has been changed. All right. Now here's the thing: when you submit your assignment, people are trying to be smart. The key is that I can exactly see when you push your code, what time you push your code, who worked on the project, and who was pushing and merging the code. All right, just a word of caution. So when you submit your assignments, it has all the timestamp, every tag, when you did what are the changes that you did. Everything is all open and clear with Git. It's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to say it as a bad thing, but it is apparent even in our projects at our companies, people, we are forgetful. We are like, well, I don't think I did this change. Well, let's look at the Git history. This is the change you did. So, yeah. Trackable. Yes, Matt.
So, let's say the Git was updated, or I did a pull at 3 o'clock, and I add some stuff, and then I do a push. Does it see that I pulled in, say nobody else has changed it?
Mm-hmm.
Does it see that I'm just adding to one that
Right.
that didn't add before, and therefore it's not a conflict, it will just add it?
Yeah, it will just add. If there's no conflict, it will just add it.
But if somebody else had pushed something else up, now there's a newer version of it that I was working on.
Then it will,
Is that?
yeah, it will conflict, and it will not let you push that. It will say, oh, there's a conflict, I won't let you push it. Okay? Yes.
So then after that, we would have to pull it again and then start our section.
Exactly,
over, right?
yes. We will have to pull it, not start your section, you will have to merge it because you have already done your part.
Oh,
You have to pull it, And there are different tools. It will show you a comparison. It will say, oh, this is the difference. Then you will say, oh, yeah, I want this, this. Basically, it's like selecting what part of the code you want.
So
But basically, at the end, you're merging your code with the code that is there. Yes.
are we going to be using Git from now on?
Yes, we're going to be using Git from now on. Okay. Some other technical terms. The copy that is on the server by default is called master. All right. When you go into a company you're working, you will see master is a very sacred branch. It's highly protected. Right now we won't be looking into protection, but it has production ready code. All right. It is highly protected. Not everybody can push to it. Right. Just the use case. They have limits on it. Who can push it? Team leads are selected. There are appointees, and only they can push that code over here. But right now we'll be just using master branch casually because you guys are working on individual things. But I'm telling you, in the real life, master branch is very, very sacred. There are high protections on it. Not everybody can push. You can put like reviews on it that somebody who's trying to push to master, it stops at a point and says, hey, you need to get an approval. And that person has to look at the code. We call it code review. And they say, okay, that's good. I approve. Then the code goes. Yes.
So we would integrate have like a family tree.
Family tree, exactly. We call them branches. Excellent. So you create a family tree, and those are called branches. So since you cannot modify master directly, what we do is we make different copies of it, and we call them branches. So this could be Laura's branch, this could be Christine branch, this could be my branch, and we can put any names over here. Okay, and then you can modify, you can do anything to your branch. Right? Yes.
Can you cut the Git original into pieces so you're not dealing with the whole big thing?
Cut the,
or is it always one big piece?
it is always going to be one big piece. Yep. And this big piece is going to be this one. Okay. All right. George, you have a question?
Similar to change, that's what I'm kind of thinking about. Like you have like the head lieutenant or the head colonel.
Yeah.
And then you just have like right below every
Right.
reporting to them. Like they have their ideas.
Right.
And it's up to the master or the colonel to make the final decision.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And these are all tools that are provided, but we are going to be looking at it. You know, if you don't put any permission right now, we are just going to be pushing to master. I'm just giving you a use case when you go out there. Not even usually, like 100% of the time, you won't be allowed to push to master. Yeah, there's a chain of command, you have to go through it. Further down, what happens is there's a second branch. Usually we call it, again, this is something extra. Development, you will hear integration, you will have here different names. What happens is those are like the pre-production code, and that's where all the developers, when they're done with their own branches, they push their code to a medium branch. All right, and then when the release date comes, there's somebody who's authorized, and they will take all the code that is over here in the development branch and then push it to the master branch. Okay, usually that's the main use case. Again, I don't want to complicate things right now. We're just going to be with the master branch. We're going to pull, push, since you guys are the only ones that are going to be working on. When you do your projects, if you get to a point, you can look into the branching strategy, and I can show you more about that. But at this point also, your projects might not be as complicated, so there might be some conflicts, but we can look at it. From the concept wise, this is good. All right. Any questions on the concept or anything? Blair, you have some? Good. All right. So Git is a tool. Then you must have heard about GitHub. All right. Everybody heard about GitHub? So GitHub is a website that actually provides you space, like a cloud space, where you can store your repositories. We call these repositories. You want to store your code somewhere, right? Git is just a tool that manages it, but GitHub is one of the websites that gives you space. They say, hey, create your project on my space, on this space. You can upload it. You can do everything over here. But this is a centralized location where code is going to be stored, and the GitHub. GitHub is not the only website in town. We are using GitLab, same concept, but behind the scenes, they all are using an open source tool called Git. All right, but GitLab is just a different site that provides you same kind of deals. They have the repository, you can store your code, everything, download and everything. They have made it nice visual thing, so you can look at it, you can see what's going on, visualize all those stuff. Because Git as a tool, again, what I said in the previous class, is based on Linux. And Linux is all Git bash. You have to type in those commands. So these kind of websites make it easier. GitHub, until a few months ago, was acquired by Microsoft. I'll show you GitHub has two options. You can create a repository, and it's called a public repository. All right. This means that anything that you upload over there is visible to anyone. I can search your username and I can see what you're doing. All right. That was the main concept of GitHub. They have private repositories. Companies use it, or some proprietary software, they use those, but you have to pay for it. All right. I've never paid for it. But Microsoft a few months ago made those freely available. So thanks to Microsoft. So before Microsoft acquired GitHub and they stopped charging for private, so now you can even create your private repositories that nobody can see. But please don't create those and submit as a homework because nobody can see those. All right? Okay. Any questions? All right, so let's take a look at GitHub and see how we can proceed with it. All right. When you go to GitHub, you will see some of your projects. What you're looking is my projects. I had a few more, but I put them all private as soon as Microsoft made it freely available. I was afraid that they're going to take away. So how you start is this new button over here. Okay. So this will say, okay, create a repository. Again, we are doing this in GitHub. GitLab is a different thing. Please don't do this in GitLab because GitLab for our class is read-only. You don't have to worry about GitLab. Okay, so GitHub is the one where you will be using all your code. Here's the interesting part. If you go to GitHub, there's a search. You can search the code. From Facebook, the code for React is freely available. You can go and look at it, what they have coded. It's open source. jQuery is another one. Microsoft have the code for Visual Studio that you're running. That's freely available. It's on GitHub. Search Visual Studio. You can see how they have written the IDE. Right? Everything is on GitHub. Microsoft was the #1 user of GitHub, so I guess they went ahead and bought it. Right? Yeah, we'll just buy you. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to create a repository called Hello World HTML. No, first take a look at it. There's exercise. You can do it afterwards. First, just concentrate and see how I'm doing, and then there's exercise for it. This is my HTML repo. Okay, you can create. Initially, when I was teaching the last class, when you click private, it will show you the pricing options, but that's gone away, so you can do that. The next thing you will see, initialize this repository with README. Right? When somebody looks at your code that is publicly available, I want to see what you're doing. All right, README is a good way. In your README, you will write, oh, this is my repository. In this repository, I'm doing this. Okay, so it's always a good idea. This is just basically a text file, and I will show you in the code, and you can update it. The exercises that you are seeing, these things. This is how it looks behind the scenes. It's kind of, they have like stars, asterisk, and these kind of translate into bold and all that stuff. But that's how the README looks like. Okay, and this is how it will render. Okay, but that's not as important. But just create a README. so that, and specify something that what you're trying to do. Next two you will see, this is the easiest one, license. All right. Right now you can leave as it is. You don't have to put any license, but they have all the MIT and all these licenses available for you. When you do this on your code, they will make a text file with basically the license over there. That's all it does. Okay. Git ignore. Git ignore is again a text file basically, but you see it's .git ignore. What it does is then when you are writing code, right now it's a simple HTML code, so you won't see the advantage of this. But when you are writing your JavaScript and some other libraries, you don't want your all of the code to go up on GitHub. All right. So anything that you don't want to go, you don't want it uploaded, you create this file and then you mention in this file. The Git is going to ignore that. All right, it's not going to upload it, it's going to ignore everything. Right now it's empty. They have like some good templates. Let's see. They have for Java. I don't think they have for any for HTML. Yeah. Nothing over here. So they have all these languages. They kind of generate extra files that are not required to be uploaded. They can be ignored. So anything that has to be ignored, you put in your git ignore file. Okay. Take that concept as it is. For now, I'm not going to create any git ignore. I'm just going to create my repository. Okay, so now my repository has been created. This has been created. Okay, it's created on GitHub. This is my README file. This is what I was talking about. You can download this and edit it, or you can just click here and edit this also over here. Yes, you will have to update it. Okay.
Does Microsoft like remove your repository if it's controversial? Do they go through it?
I have not heard anything like
I've
this.
heard of repos for other reasons.
Okay.
But I mean,
By like being removed?
well, because people, yeah, like they're for various things to watch.
Okay.
Television, free, stream,
Right.
whatever. You know.
Yeah.
But they'll make a repo and then they'll have it on different sites, and sometimes it'll get pulled down. But I mean, I'd heard of GitHub before. I just didn't know like
Yeah.
Microsoft bought it. But I know it's
Right.
weird sometimes.
But Microsoft bought it like a few months ago, literally maybe like a couple of months ago. So I don't know if they have that in place. But it might be that GitHub, the people who made the website, they might be looking into it.
Yeah, like behind.
Yeah. I don't travel in those circles where they remove their GitHub sites. I'm just kidding. Yes.
What about SSH certificate?
Oh, so when you are trying to push your code, they want to make sure it's coming from a secured place. It is the code that it is your repository, and to make that more difficult to be hacked, that's where the SSH key and all that comes in. It's just a way of authentication. Okay, so now my repo is created, and this is how it looks like. Now, there's another command. It's called commit. Okay. We saw pull, push, conflict, merge. There's a command called commit. Commit just means that if I'm working on my branch, okay, and for the day I'm done with my changes. I'm like, okay, I'm good, I'm done. I want to save the changes. All right. I'm not ready to push it to the master yet, but I am good that for the day I'm done. But I want to save it, make sure it is at a central location so that if my laptop crashes, nothing is lost. So that process is called commit. So you're going to commit your changes, and then you're going to push it to your own branch. Okay, this way, these branches are all managed on the central repository on GitHub. All right, you can create individual branches. You can push, pull to your branch, and nothing is going to break. So the part of pushing and pulling is called the commit part, and I'll show you the commands how we use it. Okay, any questions so far?
You just click an initial commit then.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, but I'll show you the real way programmers do it. All right, let's take a break, 10 minutes, and then I'll come and I'll show you the more complex commands, how do we do it.
Oh, I mean, it should be. One question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Visual Studio that needs an update.
Okay.
Can I update it and still have everything else up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Should be pretty quick.
Oh, okay, so that'd be
I will.
You might want to, I'm gonna get back to it on the icon, right click on the properties, to make sure it's under advanced, to make sure to check box that run is individually.
Oh.
Because that'll just keep it in the box. Monster.
What was that?
Next year, USA, so you like me for a year?
Well, yeah, last July. July, January.
Every day?
No. So I've been teaching Tuesday. Every Monday.
Okay. Well, 4:30, I'll sit here. I don't know which crew I can leave, but it's a madness.
Oh yeah.
I leave, today I left at 4 because I had to get gas.
Oh,
I know if I left at 4:30, I was late. So I asked my boss, like, hey, can I leave at 4 and tomorrow I need the extra half hour? Well, yeah, let's see if I can connect too. I thought you were late too. Yeah, I'm gonna add you on Skype too. But then I got a phone call.
Well, after a few hours.
I think that's part of it. Alex, you probably it will. It will, because like where I sit is like that hallway.
Oh, they want you to
Okay,
wait.
so you walk in, so it's Starbucks, and then here's like the main lobby. So there's like that, Starbucks, you go in that hallway, and then you go straight back. And sit by that.
But people stuck with it.
You may hear my voice because it's not okay. Yeah, he's like, that's you.
Yeah, you're about
No, I know.
You set your thing.
I got the award for the loudest talker. But the most compliments too. So.
You know, it's the most interesting that in the other class, Monday, Wednesday, there's somebody else from the USA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I kicked off the Monday class also.
I refuse to have more people use that.
I didn't know you were a senior.
Yesterday was my first anniversary.
So when I was a freshman, 1 year, I started off and then I was there for 2 months and I didn't like to
That's why I didn't remember it, because it
No,
So let's go to alright, so there's the test code.
Yeah.
So in here.
oh, there you go. I'm trying to subvert the whole. It's like, I don't know what you're using.
So anywhere in the anywhere in the workspace where you get click, and you can stop it. And then you can actually click and drag test code into yeah.
Boom. We go straight to this. Reset it.
That's a weird thing.
What? I think it's out here during session.
Oh.
You don't see that.
My buddy,
So all your homeworks and everything, the TAs are going to take a look at it. I'm not really involved in that part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think they have already graded like 6 or something.
Okay. I just was curious because I hadn't seen it
Yeah.
after it's been handed in, and I
Yeah,
was
the
kind of.
homework and everything usually the TAs.
Okay.
I leave that job to them. If there's any conflict, then I step in. But usually, Nathan will so you can.
Yeah. Okay. I just was kind of curious.
Don't worry
Was
too
it
much
A
about
work or
it.
B work or C? I mean, I have no
Oh,
idea what the qualifications are. So I was
I wouldn't worry too much about the pre-work. I think the pre-work usually, you can talk to them more, but they're usually looking at if you made an effort,
Yeah.
because we understand you're coming in, but if you spend the time,
Yeah. Okay. Good. Then I'll probably be fine.
It'll be fine. But the next ones are more strict. So.
Oh yes. I planned it.
my two. Oh, 1 3 2 times. But I know one time like
All right, is everybody back? So, all right, so let's go ahead and look at how do we start using Git. Now we created the Git repo. All right, GitHub has GitHub now owns our soul. They have all the code that we are going to put in. All right. So now we are going to download or clone. That's the first step. So if you see GitHub nicely tells us, hey, this is how you do it. If I click this button, it will give you the URL. All right. And this is the URL that you're going to use to, where's my clone? Did I move it? To clone this repo on your hard drive. All right. So I'm going to copy this, copy. And my first command is going to be git clone and this website. That's all. Okay. Now be careful where you are trying to. Exactly. That's who said that? Andrew. No. Brian. Bryden. Yeah. Bryden. Yes. Exactly. So be careful where you are. Oh, Andrew is. Be careful where you are trying. So this is my repo in day 2. That's where it's going to go and create a folder. So make sure that's the right place that you are trying to do. Okay. Good question. Let me. All right. So I want to download this code. So make sure you are in the right folder that you really want that code to reside in. That's all. Okay. So I want this to be there. So you see, I didn't create any new folder. All right. Let's see what git clone does. It will create a folder for you. Okay. So let's go ahead and say git clone this repo. Enter. So what it is doing, if everything is set up correctly, you have your SSH keys and everything set up, you will see these commands. It's going to go ahead, go to that site and download that code onto your laptop. Let's do a ls, and there is my repo that I just created. Okay, first step, clone. This is the step you're going to do it only once, unless you go ahead and delete this folder, then you'll have to reclone it. But after this, you shouldn't have to use clone again. Okay. In the real world, I use a clone a lot because I download it, then I try to merge, everything breaks, then I delete everything and I restart. So I'm like, well, because the code is always safe over here on the main repo, it's never going to go away. Okay. If you are having too much trouble in this class, you won't face it because the code is not as complex. But in a bigger project, when 10 people are working, something changes, there are like too many merge conflicts to deal with, I just delete everything and start from beginning. Right? Nothing is nothing is going to get lost. All right? Git is going to take care of it. All right. Now, since this is my code, I'm going to make changes to this course. I have to go inside this. Let's go to this one. Okay. CD back, but let me try this. I'm going to copy this file. So hello old / hello world. I'm going to move this file to my new folder. Okay, it's there. Okay, all I did was I just moved my previous HTML to this one. You guys can go ahead and create a new one and we'll see what happens. Okay, so now my folder that is tied to Git, I have given the control to Git. When I clone, now my Git is already watching this folder. Anything that is added, deleted, Git is taking control of it. Okay, the next thing I did was I went ahead, I created a file, wrote some code, all right? But in my repo, this new file is still not there. So I need to push it. Excellent. All right. Before pushing, there are two more things that you need to do. From the concept wise, you need to push it. but when it comes to terminal command, the first thing you do is add. So you need to tell Git to take command of this file. The Git has the command to folder and readme, but since you added this new on your local, Git doesn't know anything right now about it. So you need to say git add space dot. Space dot says that, take control of everything that's in this folder. Just take care of it. All right. It doesn't say anything, no success, no failure. Well, if it's a failure, it will tell you, but usually you will just come up to a blank screen. Okay. The first thing you would do is git clone, and then the URL. Then you're going to make your code changes. Then you're going to say git add dot. All right. I'm going to keep it simple, so I'm going to give you the basic commands that will get you running. All right. The next thing is oops. Okay. Git commit. All right. Commit, you are telling that, okay, I'm done with my changes. I'm committing, right? I'm ready. Before, this is like a pre-push. All right. Before pushing, you are saying, all right, I'm done with my changes. Git, this is it. This is my commit. I'm committing these changes. Take care of it. Right? And then -m. -m stands for a message. Usually when you commit, I told you it keeps the version history and all that stuff. It also shows the comments. It is very helpful when you commit your changes and then when you push it, so the other developer can see that what is going on. Right? I'll show you on GitHub. So I'm going to say this is my initial comment. Any comment, anything goes over here. Anything that somebody looks at it, they'll be like, okay, this is what I'm looking at. This is the part of the code review, something that I know what is going on. What am I doing? Right? So git commit space -m, double quotes, and put a nice message over there. Right? You will see this. Git has added, it has committed. It is saying now it is ready to be pushed. Again, this file is still on your hard drive right now. If I refresh it over here, you will see it's not going to show up right now because I haven't pushed it. Okay. Last thing I would do is git push. Now right now we have only one branch, and that branch is master. GitHub or Git will automatically create a branch and call it master. So when I do a git push, it's going to take this code and push it to my master branch. If you have multiple branches and all that stuff, you can specify where you are trying to push. Git push origin. Origin means the main storage, the main repo. That's where I'm trying to push. And then the branch name. Right now I just have one branch, so it's going to go ahead and push it to master. Again, this is optional if you only have one branch, so you don't have to worry about. Right now for this activity, in the next you can just do a git push and it will work. All right, do a git push, it goes ahead and it says it is successfully pushed. And there is my hello world HTML. All right. So if I give you this link, you can go ahead, you can download this, and you will see this HTML file, and you can work on it. Okay? Yes.
Where would the names be at of the different people if you have like 6 people?
Yeah, so you see this thing, this is my initial commit. So this is the comment that I put over there. Okay? You can drill down and you see a minute ago, it tells me the time, the timestamp. And then if I commit, if I click it, it is exactly telling me what are the changes that I made, what am I pushing. And then right now GitHub, it shows me my email address, who authored this, and who committed 2 minutes ago. So in this case, it's my email address because that's what I've signed in with. Again, when you're working with a company, they probably take your ID. When I'm at work, it shows my ID, whatever my USA ID is, that's what it shows up. Okay, so you see all the changes that it's showing. What this green means, these are all additions. Okay. So let's go. So this commit is done, and I can go ahead and change something here. Let's suppose okay. Here's an interesting part also. You see, Visual Studio is also kind of tied in. All of these IDs means the software that you use to write the code. They kind of have now very tightly coupled with Git. So you see it changes color and it says M. So we won't go into it, but you can do the same thing from Visual Studio. But I don't want you guys doing it right now. Right now, concentrate on doing it from the terminal because that's more important right now. So what's the first thing I need to do now? I made some changes. I'm ready. I'm done for the day. What do I do? First, I do a git add. Right? Make sure is there anything added or deleted? Make sure git is taking care of that. And then yes, excellent, commit. And then I put a message saying added a new H heading tag. All right, so that next person can see what I did this in this commit, and then git push. And then give me a minute. And then you see it updated 12 seconds ago. I can go into this commit and see what was changed. Now it just shows me that this file was already there and I changed this. Okay, yes.
That answers that question.
Okay. It will only show that was yes.
So you did not write git clone because
No. Because that's only the one time command. That's the first time. Once you clone it, you will never have to use it unless you delete the folder on your. If I go ahead and delete this, then I will have to delete this folder, then I'll have to clone it again. But once you have it cloned, it resides on your hard drive. You don't have to clone it again. It's only one-time command. Okay? Good question. Any other questions?
So,
Yes.
in general, the first step is git clone unless you have something.
Unless you already have this on your repository. Now you see the second time, I didn't have to do a git clone. I did a git add, git commit, and then git push.
But when you're starting with
When you're starting fresh,
git clone,
yeah, when you're starting fresh, you need to do a git clone. Yes.
What's the difference between add and merge?
Add and merge. So there's no command merge. Merge is more like a concept that I was saying. So that's what it is. Usually it's commit and push. Merge, yeah, there's no merge. Yeah. No, I don't remember. I don't think there's a merge thing. Yeah. Mostly it's commit and push, and then it will give you merge conflicts until you resolve all. Yes. Right?
So is the add just in case you would add a new file?
Yes. Yes. Yep. George, that was a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So these are the steps. Again, the first time you're doing it, do a clone, all right? And then make your changes, do a git add, and then do a git commit. Git add man is just not if there's a new file. For changes also, you have to put in a git add. There's a shortcut, but for now, just remember, every time you do a commit, do a git add space dot, and then do a commit. All right? This is a shorter command, but once we get to there, yes.
so for making changes, you don't have to pull. You don't do pull.
In this case, right now, I didn't have to pull it because I'm the only one working on it.
Okay.
And let's get into the habit of right now this one. Don't worry about the pull, but just remember the concept because this is going to come in use when you're doing your, especially your projects, because you'll be working on multiple team with 4 people. That's where it will happen. But right now, today, and going forward for at least for your first homework, it's always going to be push.
Push, and
Yeah.
then just if I need to make a change, then
Add,
add,
commit,
commit, and
push. Add, commit, push. All right. Everybody good? All right, let's go ahead and you guys try this. Whatever code that you guys wrote in the previous activity, create a GitHub repo, add a README file, give it a description, and then upload that code to your GitHub. All right. Once it is uploaded, cloned and uploaded, go back, make a small change, and re-upload it, re-push it so that you guys know the steps. Okay.
So how do you create the readme file?
So when you create a repo, it will give you an option at the bottom saying, do you want to create a README file? Just check that box. So let me go to my page, and then when you first step is go to GitHub repo, and then when you click new, it will give you these options over here. Just check box, this box over here.
I did something that was like making me on the first second, and now every time I try to add it, it's like fatal, not a Git repository.
So not a Git repository means that it is, you haven't made that connection.
Yeah, like I made it in Git, the blanked out for
Okay, so when you do it in GitHub, you have to clone it. You clone it. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first step, fresh, when you start fresh, first time you have to clone it. So git clone and then the URL name. And URL name is good. The GitHub should give you that URL name when you go to your repository.
Also, when you click on it, the one that the
This one. So the commands are over here: git clone, git add, git commit -m, and then a message, and then git push. Alright. Make sure everybody is able to do this because this is important. All your assignments are going to be uploaded to GitHub. Alright, and you will be submitting a GitHub link on your assignments when you submit those. Yes, Jill.
On my terminal, my GitHub, they say my permissions can be public.
Oh, did you do that SSH?
I did. We did it. I did it twice.
Okay.
So
What is this?
it's the information line.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you are doing the SSH step right now, or
No, we already did that.
Okay.
So when I was trying to get in there,
So did you create the
no, but I
repository?
just when I clicked on that, so should I just do that first?
Oh yeah, it won't work. Yeah, first start with this step and see if you get to that. So create a repository first, and then click this link, this thing.
See, I don't have phone account.
Are you on GitHub? Should have. It should show you. Are you signed in? Yeah, this will come when you create the repository. But yeah, you are on the right
Well,
step.
that one that we just made, the one on
Yeah.
I only had 2 links up there. I didn't have all the options. So
What
I'll make
options?
some.
These one?
No, like I didn't have all the downloads.
No, this option will come when you create it.
Okay.
Did you create it? Go ahead and create a new one, then you will see those options. Yeah.
So how do you open it? That's not great.
Oh no. Just copy this link, click this, and there's a copy button. Copy that link, and then on your terminal or your git bash. Alright? Nobody is using command prompt, right? On your git bash, you're going to say git clone and then paste that URL that you're going to copy. This URL. So what's the first step? How did you start? Did you do this?
Yeah, I created that.
Okay.
And then
Okay, so when you did a clone,
And then you just paste it.
which one did you?
is it just HTML file?
What depends what you create,
I
right?
just have to put HTML something.
Okay, what about right now? What you doing? You should have a folder called So can you so there's a folder called hello. So now you need to go inside that folder because that's where it is. See everywhere.
Oh, I have to do this first? Yeah.
So
So once you're
Doesn't have
Now you can so you need to go into the folder and then so right now you don't have a copy a HTML file into that folder that you created and then run these
Add commit push.
no you already did it.
So I'm trying to copy my exercise, like the previous activity, into the repository that I added, but it says that the file doesn't exist.
File doesn't
It
exist
says
where?
cannot stat exercise 3.html, no such file or directory.
So are you doing a CP and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just showing off with the CP command. I was just right click copy it, put it over there.
Just because.
But I should just do it. Okay, do a ls. Let's see where you are.
So that's
That's a repository. And here's your it's not over here.
A little bit easier.
Okay, so it used to be in it's
Where it is. This one, okay. So let's see your login. Go back.
So you right click here.
So do
This is just showing
now,
Is it not working?
well, you are right.
Safe.
It doesn't show you. That is a different
Yeah, that's
this
okay.
user documents or something. Okay.
So we're taking
You just need the file.
now. It should be okay. Now from here,
This one is in.
this one is in.
So,
This file,
so you could just
So right here,
just go to the folder. Desktop, wherever the pages.
I just don't know how.
So let's do a CP space. So uppercase D.
Okay.
So just really you don't put a quotation. So remove this type of DOC.
That's why, like, those folders in code, they're all like.
So
What is CP is that you download? Is it this one? Probably. No, does it look like it? No, it's.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
So this is your two types. Right. So you're going to want to make sure that all of the files that you want to upload to GitHub are in that. So, well, that was in your this. Like the page. So if we go back to that file, so let's try one more thing. Otherwise, just copy paste.
I didn't realize where I was reading. I could just copy this and put it in the desktop.
I mean, you could. Just wherever you feel comfortable.
I I just didn't know it was that gonna be that far.
Yeah, so we created our so I would just copy it. So just this way.
So that's how we file into the repository. In order
Yeah.
to work,
You can
right?
that file. But I don't think that this.
I'm confused because I thought
This one,
Yeah, so
the
it's-
Hello World Capital is the repository. It doesn't belong to us.
But if you go to the website, it shows years.
I don't think I uppercase it.
Yeah. Do a PW.
Yeah, I understand.
So that's the use.
Okay, I just didn't want to mess up.
So, the cloning process. That would give you a folder, but it's in your hello users and exactly how to have it written. So that's what I was looking at.
So I did LS.
Yeah.
So she's basically, so it's where we put the, like the ads, it's not in your turn. It's still not
So
That's not my desktop.
No, that's talking about so, okay. It's a that's inside the user.
Oh, we don't actually have space for
Okay, so yeah, that's the HTML. What you want to find is the folder that you download.
Remember the folders called apps?
Do a git command here and then see the folder.
Mine's saying it already exists. I'm getting mine. So that's fine.
And then it's actually
That's not so, let me just check if that's okay. So, I don't want to just hide
Now when I get out.
Oh, yeah. So, first problem I see is you actually need to folder So, yeah.
I know, like,
You're
just
creating
go on your
a folder,
desktop and
then
create a
inside
folder.
the folder, I'll be putting that
So that was.
So on my desktop, it's
so the one that you looked up before.
yeah.
Wherever that one is.
That one's not in folder.
Yes.
Oh, so that's the one that needs to be in that file. That one needs to be inside. So you can either do it.
Just do it.
I just want to
Yeah, you can either do it on the desktop or otherwise you can
yeah, because I don't even see it on my desktop.
Oh, so you want to put a desktop folder for
From here, because I found it again.
Yes, so now you, if you go to your desktop, you'll actually see folder.
in your phone.
So no, it's like
Right.
So doesn't matter.
So that is.
Yes, yeah, not the document.
And then you copy that, and then you copy that, and then you come over here.
Oh, yeah, it works.
So,
And
you
then
push, did you push
We go, actually just go back. So, this space,
It's very sexy, and I did that, and I think it just added in
this time before.
Check the right folder on the this one for
It's like the folder online.
Is this the stuff that?
So
Just get to that,
you did the game.
Yes, and it did all this stuff.
So what's happened now is you copied the folder, but you're not in the folder. So I'm gonna allow to see what's in the folder that you're currently working on. And now we're going to
so go to the
So what you can do is you can paste directly.
name, okay, go to where that.
Oh, did you get no changes?
Putting everything over here.
User desktop. The name of the folder that you have there,
You can
now try to indicate.
something that describes
And now you file and in quotations put in your initials.
trying to do a save as for
Everything except yes. And then
So now that you have that, you can try to get push. Did you do this?
before you say get out. I was like saying,
So yeah, you change this text editor. So you open the file here, text editor, studio, change what you save it, and then you go space. All this is just a viewer of your code. The only thing I add to the text is space.
Or you need a.
And then you be able to do that, and then all the changes with the changes that you
so that's just like a read.
yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
But then you can
So the same thing. Yeah, there's a server.
No, you're not cleaning. It's saying nothing to connect. Your working tree is
second. It's just the way it's like
Okay, this is saying it's massive, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I need to
Get out of the skin.
Sorry.
So the news here is that if you actually go to the files, you can and hit tabs, type in. You don't. You haven't actually added your HTML file that you've been working on into the folder that should be connected together. You're going to need to copy the file that you were working on into that folder. You did do the SSH with
I just.
like with GitHub, not GitLab.
Yeah, I haven't even opened it.
Because we're not pushing anything to GitLab. Yeah, can you just double check to see if you're still able to have I'm always very. I don't trust computers. They usually just. They sometimes lock me out. Yeah, go to settings really. Yeah. Where you were settings. SSH.
There's nothing after. I mean, like there's other command, but.
And then that's really strong.
Yeah, I did that. A really good ad read. Yeah, things just get bad. I did that a while back. Good ad space.
There's no H in it.
Yeah, actually, I think you changed something that needed to be added.
So the issue here right now is, according to the map that here has, you're telling me that there's a file in the file working on, which you can see right here. There is no.
There is no. So I make a change. So if you want to make a change,
You're going to need to put like where that file is located, or you can just
There it is right there.
That's the file you want to source it from. So, and you want to take this to where you want. So this means this is it's under users.
Always like one.
This user and this one. So this is actually the folder that you have from. So if you just
But if you are in that directory
basically. That's where all this is. Oh, it's in here.
It's exactly as it says right here. So you go so right here on this icon.
Yeah.
That's the only file.
That's the file.
Which is
copy this into
That's
the
computer.
I really
Then you go to users, because what this is saying is user,
Yeah, to get,
and then it's your user, which is Chris.
Yes.
And then inside of the Chris folder,
so you need something.
there's a folder called Hello World Applications Now.
And that's this one.
And that's where we are right now.
Okay.
So if you actually, I just grabbed it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheating, but if you type in LS right now, watch what happens.
It's gonna be there.
It's gonna be there.
Okay.
And so now if we go through the
Then I can
process,
choose a push.
oh, you need to add and send push. Yeah, it's okay.
You really learning this. You're learning this so much because of this.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so those of you who are done with the GitHub, this is the next exercise. You're going to use HTML and try to create this page. So this will be your heading would be student bio. Then you will have your name and just empty image. Alright, and below you will have a paragraph. Look into the P tag and then 3 links with these dots. Okay, these are called lists. So look at the list element. Alright? Yes. Yes, the idea is create a new repo, call it bio, student bio, write this and push it to your new GitHub. Alright, this is the activity.
Is this
Do we have yeah, yes.
I can't remember. Oh, yeah.
What I've got.
So,
What to do?
so you don't have the SSH key added?
I do.
Okay.
That's why we don't know why I'm
I must know.
This will come up if the SSH key is not properly added. Yeah, the SSH key with this is not done properly. That's when you're getting instructions. So let's see. So you want to let's start with that. Push everything. Yeah. Just press enter. So let's see what this is. Open Git back. Yeah, let's try on her first and then.
Because this one is my Google SAT that so
No, how many dollars?
I'm wondering if I still have to this is why it's giving me.
Okay, so when you completed this part, you go and you get
I added it.
You added it?
Yeah. So, but I'm wondering if I still have to, it's too different.
No, as long as you let's try it.
So did you already order? Not yet. Okay. Okay. So okay. And so what you is just press this one. So you click on that. So we'll change so what you have to do is this is how it's doing. So this is what you're asking. Well, yeah, you did all. So the thing is, the electric part is really the same as the yeah, let's try that. Don't enter a password.
Because you see, in my desktop, on my desktop, I created it for from there. So we do an actually, that's where I did my video. So you see that
where did your
It's like serious, yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
I just want to make sure you're right.
Yeah.
This person is the folder. Oh, you did that. The next one is the CSS.
I already did that one too.
You did that? Okay. Yeah, just for your practice. To make sure you and then passwords. Get status. No, this video is that's really video. It's a little you might want to write down get status.
You just get the file to
yeah, BWD will tell you what it is. And if it is, then we'll give it a status and say, hey, right. So
go to your
next one. And so remember, there, I was explaining something, we also need to add, right? So go ahead and type in get and say, so go to your, so get add space, whatever is not previously, go ahead and just track that.
So you need to
So
a CP, so file.
whatever you want to say. We know it for
CP and then HTML
so now we see new file is changed.
HTML file.
So now we submitted you it's done. Right click, right click,
Use this app. It's asking me app to open.
yeah, uncheck this. Yeah, it is. It just it's just a security feature. It won't show us the file as you type the password. Oh yeah, well here let's do so type in your username and then yeah, as you type in your password, it's a security.
No trouble.
Yeah, you're just yeah, you get so yeah, so once you push it, if you go into your GitHub info and do no worries, no worries. RM space minus R. Yeah, space. Yeah, I think that's like in cloud storage.
One thing we will make sure. Oh, so I think it's a Windows thing. They create the users, and since you must have created a user, so you have this on the desktop. I'm not sure why Windows does it, but I've seen it on Windows. So it will be a desktop.
If I wanted to do that, I would have to go through this path.
Yeah.
You have to have a message.
I'm sorry? I didn't, we wouldn't take it line with the message.
Try
Is it
out.
open?
I got an error.
Is that folder?
I got the arrow when I did.
You get in there when you do put a message, you get an error. Don't. Welcome to Coding 101.
Remove the read only.
Wait, so if I got command line now, I'm trying to do
Different.
Here. Now it's deleting from this.
Yeah, it's deleting the thing, it's not letting you see the folders. Oh, you have also like good closure. Do you have this somewhere else? Yeah, I know. It's just so many gets.
I know, too many.
And the user.
Okay, just no, no. Okay, so click notepad, fix this. Now, and just close it. Cancel. With your Windows user doesn't have any options. Yeah. Try to delete the images and this will also undo them.
What's going on?
Mm-hmm. And I got login issue.
The one with the cat?
What?
The one with the cat?
The cat. Yeah, and I don't know why I got. I don't know because I do use
Well, when you're pushing, you will have to authenticate. So, you can just type in your GitHub username or your password, and it should push it just fine. You,
Isn't it my
So computer
username or email, doesn't matter.
The admin information, that's the issue. I'm not sure how to resolve this one. Let's try this. Rename this. Click here. Just put a
So now, did you have to So did it work?
Yeah. So, is this working for you? This is great.
That was the front page that I never took off my desktop.
But how were you able to create on the desktop this one?
Because when I saved the individuals, I went just to the desktop, so it wasn't under user blah 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 of an email. It was just, which I don't know why it's
now
Oh yeah, you could,
this instead of that.
I guess it probably wants you to use your GitHub username. So your GitHub username, if you click on this little icon here, so Clark 42, so I would use that. Just that way, since you have a public repo,
Right now, let's try to create a new.
so a shortcut you can do that I like is if you push the up arrow key, it gives you, yeah.
Because we're just basically. What I probably want to try and so when I do the whole thing over again, then the only user on this would be
Yeah.
just so that I could get this private email to be taken off. If you're saying I need to do is what or how would I just
No. Index was the image should be one. And then the clone should be one. So when you clone it, so now you're in
Tell me if I do read the whole thing.
Yeah.
So let's try this.
No.
so LS is probably what's so that's
Visual Studio, and then you can GitHub, it'll update it. Because as long as you have it in the right folder, you push it to your repo, edit it in Visual Studio, push it to the repo, it'll update it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. I just,
Oh yeah. Oh. Sure. This. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So now your SSH key and everything is set up. Okay. So it should so you are past the SSH. You should never have that problem. The only thing is the desktop one, it's kind of Windows thing. You can sit after the class hours and figure it out, but it looks like you need some permission to do it. But your GitHub is not working. Yeah, so let me
get
all right, so keep doing this activity, but give me, oh, come on. All right, one more thing before, so that you guys can know these activities. Is it this one? All right, so on GitLab, everybody should have access. So what did I say? GitHub and GitLab, behind the scene, they're using the same tool. So you can now go ahead and clone this repo on your desktop, and you will have all your exercises and everything coming down. Right? Go to GitLab. For you, on your command prompt, on your git bash or terminal, nothing will change. The only thing is you need this URL. Go to GitLab, get this URL. What would you do? You would do a git clone this thing, and this should give you all your exercises. Right now you have just one folder over there, and this will come down to your desktop wherever you save it, and then you will have access to all the exercises. Right, before this class, try this also. It's the same process. The only thing is, all right, so remember GitLab. So go to GitLab, you should see this folder, and then do a git clone of this folder. It's the same concept. The only thing is, in this case, you don't have to don't do a push, don't do a merge or merge or anything. All you need to do is keep doing a pull every time I upload exercises over here. You see the concept again. GitHub is one website, the other website is GitLab. Concept is still the same. Go to GitLab, copy this URL, do a git clone, and this will download all the class activities on your laptop. What is going to happen is next week when I upload a new folder, all you have to do is do a git pull, and you will keep getting those exercises. You can open those in Visual Studio and you will have access to all the exercises over here. For example, these activities. All right. What I'm going to do is usually after the end of the class, I go ahead and push all the solutions to it, and then I will post and saying that I have uploaded all the solution for the exercises that we did today. You guys will go ahead and do a git pull, and all the solutions will also come down. All right. If you didn't get it, start with doing a git clone of your GitLab now. We are now on GitLab. From your terminal, it doesn't make any difference. All you are going to do is go to GitLab, sign in. If everything you have set it up, did you guys set up SSH? Just like GitHub, everything should be the same. You shouldn't see any difference. All you will do is a git clone, and then you'll get these exercises. Try that. Sure.
No, so
You were able to do that. You didn't do GitHub?
So I have this is
Okay, like so we'll have to set up the GitHub. So set it up for GitLab also, right?
in here.
In the resources. Going to get the resources?
Yep. Yeah, so it'll just be your GitHub username.
Yes, you will do a git clone.
No, the email in this case would be referring.
I'm going to post this URL, and then you guys go ahead and make sure. This is the URL.
It has any sort of access to this repository specifically. So you should be okay. Yeah, so this is where you put all your activities. So this is where it goes at. Where did what come from? Oh, so it's under projects. So you were just in on a different URL. U of A has our own GitLab. And so if you just go to gitlab.com, that's like our main site. So this is our own like repository. So you can just so this link right here, you can just save it as a favorite, put it up as bookmark somewhere up here. So that's what I do. So
No, just do a git
see the star? Yeah. So click on the star, and then you can just save it to your bookmark. And then you can it's gonna be if you see the two arrows there, so it's gonna be right there. So click the double arrows again. If you click and hold, and then just drag it in the front somewhere. There it is. Activities, homework, stuff. So in here, you click on Week01-Day2 get. So this is where we'll be posting all the activities, all the solutions to activities, all the homework.
No, I agree.
So this is basically where you will be doing assignments and stuff like this. So we go in.
That's the rock.
So bootcamp spot is where you go to submit your homework. This is where you go to view instructions, activities, and stuff. So we will be posting activities through Slack, but if there's a particular activity that you want to go back and visit,
Well,
you can
at
go
one
to
point,
GitLab.
let's say it was
All of your activities, homework, whatever, and stuff around it. Figure it out.
I know, I was like doing the previous thing, and I looked up, and Freddie's like, yes, you should be good for that.
Well, because now you whatever direction.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Look, yeah, I'm like,
So this was that.
it's right here.
No, so this is the homework that'll get you there, but the activity, if you go back a page, and if you go to activities,
So I should be the C and then.
I believe it's, yeah, so if you read that much, so this is, and we also post this on Slack, so it'll be, yeah. Yeah, so it's essentially the same thing that's here. We also post in Slack, screenshots, instructions, everything. So, makes sense? Yes. Good. Sounds good. You're welcome.
Sure.
I was trying to listen, but I was missing.
Busy night.
Crazy.
I guess I was.
Give me a minute. No, this is this piece here is just a repository.
All right, just give me 1 minute, and then we can still work. So we still had to do CSS, but I see that we had problems, so I still didn't get to that topic. But that's okay. We'll manage it somehow. On Saturday, Matt, the other instructor, he's going to be here. He's going to be teaching the combined class. Okay. I'm going to tell him he's going to start with CSS. But Saturday's class is going to be, if you think this was a little bit difficult, Saturday is going to be like twice as difficult. All right. Yeah. You guys are going to learn some crazy CSS properties. All right. But it's important because it will tie into your homework. The homework that you have, and I have told Nick is going to introduce that homework on Saturday, so don't worry about that. So the Saturday exercise and the concepts, by Saturday you should have everything to complete that homework. Okay? So make sure, yes.
Essentially everything that's here.
By the end, what?
After class.
Yeah, after class. I'm saying after class, the concept that you're going to learn will help you complete the homework. Okay, so that's why it's very important. All right. Saturday is a combined class. So if you get here early, you will get a seat. It's going to be here. I don't want to say this. Hold on. Let me stop this recording first.